Right guys, we are Fortunes from Football. We're back for another video. This time it is how are Roma shaping up? So what does that entail? Well, we'll be looking at their transfer dealings, who's come in, who's gone out, who might come in. Then we'll turn our attentions to pre-season, have a look at their results, their style of play, how Mourinho's methods are getting across to the players. And finally, we'll wrap up with a look at their fixtures and certainly the earlier part of the season to see what lies in wait. So if that sounds interesting, if you enjoy what you see, like, subscribe, much appreciated. Let's get cracking. Right, let's kick off with a look at the transfers that have been confirmed. So inbound, Brian Reynolds, Roger Ibanez, they are the two that were expected. They're already there on loan deals. They've now been firmed up for 6 and 8 million respectively. And then the only real true addition, Rui Patricio, 10 million from Wolves. It's been a big area of concern for Roma during the summer months. It's sorted. We're sure there'll be plenty more to come. Right, so who else will arrive? The elephant in the room is Granit Xhaka. During the European Championships, Xhaka had almost given the green light that he was heading to Italy, and it's well publicised that he wants to join Roma, and Roma want to sign him. Now, that's hit some complications over the last few days. In one of our previous videos, Mourinho's transfer targets, we labelled the price for Xhaka as a bit of a steal. And apparently Arsenal have caught on because they've now slapped another 5 million on their asking price, taking it to 17 million, which is up from the rumoured 12 beforehand. Roma do not want to pay it. Does it mean the deal's dead in the water? Absolutely not. So, as we've said, player wants Roma, Roma want the player. Arsenal have already signed his replacement in Albert Sambi Lokonga. It's surely a matter of when, not if, and whether that price meets the middle ground around the 14 mark, who knows? I'm sure we'll find out. Another deal which has hit some complications, Matthias Viña. That deal for the left back was as good as done. Again, it looks like everything will be overcome, but there's a little bit of panic around. And I know some people are claiming that it's going to be dead in the water and Mourinho and co will have to look elsewhere. It sounds very much like it's a delay caused by COVID. And once that hurdle is overcome, pen to paper, and Roma will not have to turn to alternative targets for someone to compete with Spinazzola when he is back fit. And then your final position that's really under the spotlight is a striker. Andrea Belotti is the big name linked to Reno Ford. And you can understand why. Everything about him ticks a lot of boxes: the way he plays, his work ethic, his leadership skills, and the fact that he's proven he can deliver goals in Serie A. Now, there are a couple of other names in the mix that have emerged over the last few days. Alexander Sorloth at Leipzig is one. Crystal Palace fans will be well familiar with him. He actually had a 16-game spell with Palace where he blanked, suffered some ridicule and quietly moved on. He then went and lit up Turkish football with 33 goals in 49 matches, and that earned him a move to Leipzig. Form in Bundesliga has been a bit hit and miss. He's not quite hit the same heights. He's managed to record 6 goals in 37 appearances for Leipzig. Personally, find it hard to believe that he's going to be Mourinho's man. I think he'll want someone who's a bit more proven. And potentially that applies to the next man as well, which is Roman Yaramshu of Ghent. So Yaramshu started his career at Dynamo Kiev in his homeland. He impressed at Euro 2020 with Ukraine, grabbed a couple of goals and an assist. And his record for Ghent is extremely good, 61 goals and 152 appearances. But again, the question mark is a ratio of just over 1 in 3 in the Jupiler Pro. Does that translate to Serie A? Not convinced. And I wouldn't be surprised if Belotti doesn't work out that Roma turn elsewhere with a bit of a name from the left field potentially. In terms of outgoings, there's not been a great deal going on either. So Paul Lopez, Tengizanda, Justin Kluivert have all headed off to France on loans with respective options to buy at the end of those. So that's Lopez and Under going to Marseille, Kluivert joining Nice. Potentially the latter, the biggest surprise of the three. And then the only other exit has been Bruno Perez, who's headed off to Turkey on a free transfer. Obviously not any exits that will be bothering Mourinho. And to be honest, probably not the fan base of Roma either. Like I say, Justin Kluivert potentially the one disappointment with such hype around him. But he needs a kickstart. Right then, pre-season, so how's it been going? Well, on the surface, 18 goals scored, 2 conceded across four games. Pretty bloody well. Of course, you have to consider the strength of opposition, which can be questioned. But pre-season's about minutes. It's about timing the legs of the players. It's about patterns of play, getting methods across, particularly with a summer of change having taken place. So, pre-season started off with a 10-0 rout of a lower league side, 5 goals in each half, 7 scorers. Borja Mayoral, 3 goals, hat-trick for him. So, happy days is in pressure out pre-season, Mayoral. So, that was a good start. Followed up with a 2-0 and a 1-0 win. 3 games in, no goals conceded. It's all good. And then most recently, a 5-2 win over Debrecen, which is a Hungarian side for those that don't know. Not only was it the first game Roma conceded in, but they fell behind very early on. They responded well, which is something that would have pleased Mourinho, even if they are vastly superior in quality. And a couple of goals for Edin Dzeko in that match. In terms of not reading too much into results, hence the reason we've just quickly ran through them. How's the actual style of play been? Well, the big plus points, Zaniolo's fit. Carlos Perez looks to be adding end product to his game. And there's been a lot of youth involved as well. And a lot of youngsters have joined him on the trip to Portugal, where they are now, with a couple of games to come up against Porto and then Spanish side Real Betis. So that will up the quality they're facing. And that just help with the intensity of things and clicking. We would imagine you'd see more of the same. So what that is, really aggressive pressing, winning the ball up high. And when they do, there's a real killer instinct about the way Roma are attacking. Win the ball high, defence out of position, one pass, in on goal. That's the way they're playing. Going from the back, as you would expect with a Mourinho side, back to front very quickly through the lines, real attacking intent behind them. And of course, when you're talking about a Serie A season, they're going to face sides who have more of the ball, who pin them back a little bit more, and there will be backs to the wall times. And Mourinho, there'll be times where he wants his team to absorb that pressure. The difference between a Mourinho side and a Fonseca side, based on what we've seen so far, is going to be that when that ball is won back, when it comes to going forwards, there's going to be a clear plan and they are going to be ruthless on the counter. Well, that will be the intention. There will be no sideways passing. It will be 2 or 3 passes, effort on goal, cross in the box. And that's been evident throughout pre-season. And finally, we come to a quick look at the fixture list. So, not going to spend too long on it, but Roma kick off their campaign with Fiorentina at home. They have a decent record. They've won the last 4 meetings. So they'll be hoping to kick off the campaign with a win. Then they've got some more winnable games before the 26th of September, Game 6, when they face Lazio. Technically the away side, if you can call them that. It's completely feasible Roma will be unbeaten heading into this game when you look at the fixtures on the left-hand side. The bad news for Roma fans, their record against Lazio when they are the away side is awful. They've not won since late 2016. So something needs to change if that record is to stop. Then the next notable period on the calendar, late October. You've got a 4-game spell in a fortnight between the 17th and the end of the month, when Roma will come up against Juventus, Napoli and AC Milan. And then in early December, the Jose Mourinho derby, as I'm sure it will be dubbed, into Milan. Then you come into Christmas, you'll have a great idea of where Roma stand, how the league's shaping up. And yeah, be interesting to see. Will Roma be challenging? Are they looking at a title race? Are they pushing Champions League? Are they in the block just below? I think they'll be up there. Probably not in a title race, but certainly competing for one of those Champions League spots. But there you go. And that's your lot for today, guys. We've been Fortunes from Football. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed it, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll be back soon. Thanks very much.